It's Wednesday morning. You know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Alabama Slam Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Hanna.
What's going on, guys? It's Patrick Akers.
And if I was Cody Rhodes, I'd probably quit WWE and start my own federation and win the title there.
Come home, Cody. We need you. We need you over here. Oh, God. Whatever. We'll talk about it.
I mean,
I've been kind of in a bad mood, honestly, since it happened, if I'm being just real honest with you. I know I'm a 33-year-old man. I shouldn't take this as hard as I did, but, like, I literally was watching that Friday night, and when it went off there, I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'm done watching WWE then if this is what they're going to do. But
I've been talking. You know where I stand. I've been saying that this is happening for forever. Because I felt like this is where it is. I've had time to get. I've gone through those denials, the grief, the acceptance, what have you. I'm there with it now, and I've still got my hope. He said some key words that make me happy. That say, I'm coming for it, but I'm moving my own goalposts. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take the bloodline down, and I'm going to take your title. So my heart, where I'm going to hold on to and keep going here, is the fact that sure, Rock can have him at WrestleMania. Fine, whatever. He gets Seth. He gets that title. He makes a run with it. Whenever it's time to hit Roman, we're getting a unification, and Cody's going to be the undisputed champion.
before I talk about why I hate that so much, let me first, Corey, I feel like we both owe Steven an apology because this man has been saying on this podcast that Roman Reigns is going to hold his title. It's going to be Rock. We were like, nah, Cody's going to do it. Cody's going to do it.
I believe the exact words were, ain't no fucking way.
And so apologies.
Yeah, we bow down to you, Steven.
You were right.
I don't want to be right about this, but
Y'all were wrong on a lot of other stuff though when you recorded last week based on what we saw Friday night, right? Because I listened to the podcast that y'all recorded. We docked in Mobile Saturday morning, and then I could finally get off of the ship Wi-Fi and check texts, and I got all these texts coming in from y'all. And then I start listening to the podcast going down the road, and I was like, oh, they were wrong about that. Wrong about that.
Oh, we were 100% right, whatever it was.
Yeah, even when we're wrong, we're right.
But then, I knew what happened Friday night by the time I'm listening to y'all record, talk about what y'all recorded on Tuesday. So it's funny, the overlap. And I was sitting waiting to go into the piano bar Friday night when all the tweets start coming in. And I start I couldn't text you for whatever reason on the ship's Wi-Fi, but I could text Patrick, and I was like, oh boy.
Oh, it was...
And I could hear Patrick's eyes rolling.
It was just, as obviously listeners know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Cody Rhodes,
Cody Rhodes shirt in appreciation for poor Cody.
Cody Rhodes, the big SmackDown last Friday. Cody's going to make his decision. He comes out in the show. Roman Reigns is standing in there. Roman Reigns cuts one of his better promos of his career, which is basically I love it. You can either be the best number 2 or you can take another crack at being number 1.
No pop.
And out comes Cody.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, all right, here we go. And then Cody starts his promo and he keeps talking. And I'm like, well, this doesn't sound like a I'm going to kick your ass at WrestleMania type of promo. And then I guess I started kind of blacking out because the realization started hitting me this is about to happen. Because we already got reports hey, The Rock is backstage SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, because there were tweets that came through early. There were
tweets that were coming through. The Rock was spotted at a gym in Birmingham. People were he's here. And I thought, and I guess it still could be, but we'll talk about how nonsensical it is now. I thought they were going to announce, Cody goes, I'm going to fight you at WrestleMania, but I need some people in my corner. Out comes The Rock, who's going to serve as a special guest referee. Maybe they do it at this point. We'll get into why I think it's stupid at this point if they do it that way, because Cody then says, I'm going to finishing my story taking the title from you? Is it taking everything from you? And then he goes, but I'm not going to do it at WrestleMania. And I was like, oh shit. And then here comes The Rock. And sure, Birmingham popped.
Well, I mean, and I was trying to explain this in my house as well, because I was going through the whole, the cluster F of what this is with the most disliked video in WWE history.
Yeah, and then they recut it,
yeah,
uploaded it again, and that was the second most disliked.
Yeah, I mean, it is. We just trying to explain it. When you are in that moment and somebody that you are not expecting to be there pops, and it is the biggest star not just in WWE, but probably in you know, at one point in the world.
Yeah.
You're going to react. I mean, you're happy as hell that The Rock is there, and you might not understand completely the ramifications of that until later. But yeah, if The Rock came out there, and I'd be like popping my ass off.
Yeah.
Now. So I get it. I get that. But I want to, I said something last time, and you said no. But if this is a work, let's assume that if this is just them trying to get some Daniel Bryan shine on Cody to make him, you know, have that Bautista moment where the yes movement starts and we get the nightmare moments. I will ask this again. Do we get Roman Reigns main eventing both nights of WrestleMania?
I'm just gonna hold up my camera and point it at Patrick every time.
I just don't. Maybe, but here's the thing. Okay, here's where this story has lost me, and I think it's done a full jump the shark moment. Let's go back to the Daniel Bryan yes movement, which is clearly something that they are trying to recreate. The whole thing about the Daniel Bryan yes movement was that in storyline on the show, Daniel Bryan kept losing. Okay, he gets eliminated at the Rumble by Roman Reigns, yada yada. It was that the real life stuff eventually bled over onto the screen. Okay, where people go, no, we don't like this story, change it. Trying to recreate that with a guy who has been the biggest star in the company, not in just the fans' eyes. This dude's literally on the cover of the video game that's about to come out. He won the Royal Rumble twice, and then just decides, I'm just going to give it away.
The thing that got me that I was shocked by when we watched SmackDown Sunday afternoon, because I told Jamie, I was like, we got to start watching WWE again because, like, you know, we're coming up on it. Well, I didn't say that. I was like, this is when we should probably, and then like, I was trying to tell her something this morning. She was like, hey, she just stopped me. She was like, I think we need to make sure we watch SmackDown Friday. Like, so we've already had that conversation, but yeah.
Here's why this feels like a kick in the dick.
Yeah.
Okay. We're all readers here. Okay. We all like books. Let's say that we are about to start, let's say, a fantasy novel, right? And we can feel the weight of it in our hands. We're like, this damn story is going to take us all year to finish it. But you know what? I love fantasy novels. I'm going to get into it. And you crack open the book and you got this hero, and this hero's got this great backstory, right? And he's coming back into this kingdom, and he's going to dethrone the evil king. And like the first third of the book, he actually fights the evil king. You're like, oh shit. But he gets beat. He gets cheated out of it. And then he gets banished from the kingdom, right? But you're like, I love this hero. And you watch him slowly come back up. And he beats this beast character that even the evil king couldn't beat one-on-one, which in this metaphor would be Brock Lesnar. And then he beats this other like mystical dude who blows mist and people, and our hero beats that guy. And then he gets to the gates of the kingdom, and there's 29 other dudes there. And they're like, we also want to be the king. You're like, well, shit, our dude's not going to be able to do this. He beats them too. And then he gets into the throne room, and he goes, you know what? I've waited my whole life for this opportunity. But you know what? This dude's going to fight you instead. And you're reading it, and then the last third of the book is just some shit, or the last 20 pages, it's a brand new character. And you're like, well, what? I like the other dude, though. Why did we have to do it with this dude? I've been reading the whole thing. I've been 12 months. Cody Rhodes has convinced me. I was skeptical of this dude when he first came back. I watched the documentary. I'm like, I'm hook, line, and sinker. I'm in. I'm all the way ready. I'm ready for this dude to win the title at WrestleMania. I'm probably going to cry. And then we get to the 11th hour, and they just go, nah, it's The Rock.
So was it cold-blooded or the dumbest move that you could have done to end the show to just have The Rock come out there and basically stand there and never even say anything to Roman? And because when it cut, by the reaction that I saw on Twitter the night before, I was like, or 2 nights before, I was like, something is popping off. I was like, The Rock is there.
Hey, the crowd was, I believe the exact chant they were chanting was, "This is awesome." So the crowd was. I go back to the heart of this. This is a dream match for that storyline. you're looking at it from Cody Rhodes' perspective of him being that hero kind of thing, beating that unbeatable king. We're still not to that phase yet. We are still at that king establishing his reign over not just a kingdom, but an empire. And as much as, it has grown tedious because of how long it has taken, this is that next stage where the previous king that still holds sway has to be defeated for him to be the ultimate bad guy for your hero to fight. It's kind of, if you've seen that D&D movie where they get the paladin and he's just OP to everybody else, and then he just kind of wanders off and walks across the rock and never sees it. Right now, Cody Rhodes is kind of in that path where you think he's ready to beat that evil guy, but that evil guy still hasn't taken that final form yet, and so he wants to make sure it's still story. I get that,
but in storyline, explain to me why Cody Rhodes, after beating 29 other men and guaranteeing his right to main event WrestleMania, just says nope. Here you go, Rock.
Because he took counsel from a wise man that has misled him. And unfortunately, that if we look at the reality of it, I enjoy The Rock. I enjoy him. He was whenever he's on the screen, he entertains me.
He's a massive star. Yeah.
But if you look at his history outside of WWE, you remember the stories that you used to hear about him and Vin Diesel fighting at Fast and the Furious, and his PR team was kind of playing it off as Vin Diesel being a jerk, but he's the moment. Okay, fast forward a couple years and we get to Shazam. And Black Adam, the number one villain, can't fight Shazam because Shazam, he's no Superman. So
right.
You're getting all these hints. He's now on the board, and if you're reading the news stories that are popping off, he's actively campaigning not just to be in that event, but to walk out with a title because he cares about how he's perceived, and he has had multiple losses over the couple of years here. So I can justify it in my head that when Cody Rhodes was talking to people trying to figure out what he wanted to do, The Rock got to him and was a self-centered Paul Heyman voice in his head of, hey, let me do this. I got this. I need to, it's a family thing. And if you're going to start talking about family, Cody's going to be like, okay, family, I get it. Because that's his whole gimmick.
Well, some of the things I read said that The Rock is doing it because he wants to help push Cody bigger than the Daniel Bryan run that we already
I don't know. That's bullshit. I don't buy that. I do not buy that for a second. How much bigger of a star can Cody Rhodes be in the wrestling universe? The show that we're watching every single week. The dude takes off his weightlifting belt, gives it to a kid. The kid is in tears, like he's just touched Jesus. How much bigger does this dude have to be?
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that some of the things I read said that, and I was like, well, that's fucking wild.
But he's a Hall of Famer. We can agree on that, right?
Sure.
Is he a Steve Austin?
Cody Rhodes?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
But neither is Bryan Danielson when that was happening.
Is he a Mick Foley?
For this generation, yeah.
You think so?
He is. Yeah.
So that would be the tier that you're kind of at right now.
But I think for kids, like if the three of us were 13 years old watching wrestling right now, Cody Rhodes would be as big of a star as what we have in wrestling right now. Now, granted, to us, he's not because we came through Stone Cold and The Rock and that kind of level. But like, this chaps my ass in a couple different ways. One, let's just take about it. The three of us are we're WWE wrestlers, right? And every couple of months we have these locker room meetings, and Triple H and the board come in and all these management people, and they go, guys, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. We're making money hand over fist. This company's never made more money. And you go, oh shit, yeah, like we all are doing really good. And like, hey, Cody's leading the charge here. He's the dude that's on the cover of everything. He's doing press, but he's also making all the towns. He's busting his ass every single house show. Like that's our leader. That's our guy. And this company's doing great. And then here we go, main event of WrestleMania. That's our dude, right? Cody Rhodes he's us. And then all of a sudden The Rock waltzes in here. How do you think that's supposed to make the rest of us feel?
Well, he's he's us, but he was always 1/3 of us. At best, he was 50% of us. Because if you got 2 nights of WrestleMania, he was only going to main event one of those. The other one was going to be the guy who experienced almost this exact same argument 10 years ago when he wasn't getting his WrestleMania main event moment, but he was getting, Triple H in a co-main event kind of thing, and it chapped his ass.
Yeah.
So he was always going to be a 50% at best. 33% if you count the other angle that they were going to have the attraction event there of Brock coming in. So even at best, he was not the guy. I can somewhat buy what they're saying if you believe that The Rock is conscious of what's going on, trying to give how much bigger could he be? The answer is he could be The Rock. He could be Hulk Hogan. What does he need to get to be that not just generational talent inside wrestling, but to be the next Cena, the next person that transcends? I mean, they talk about how they were never intending to make another superstar in WWE. It was always, this was what we were going to get kind of thing. But I think they've seized that opportunity because it's landed in their lap. And they might. They could pull it off. If you martyr this guy in the right way and get him not just in front of, the 100,000 people in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But you get him in front of 250 million people, becoming the ultimate champion of the Ultimate Wrestling Group. And all the AEW people can hate on that statement. But when people think of wrestling, there's only one company they focus on for the most part.
Yeah.
If you can get him to become the biggest face of that company in front of 250 million people, you've made it.
But we got the big Netflix deal and we got the big Saudi Arabia deal without having The Rock on screen. Like, we did it because guys like Cody and Sammy and Seth and Roman, the collective current group of WWE superstars, got them to that point. And then I would just feel a certain type of way about having this dude. Granted, it could be The Rock, it could be Stone. I don't give a shit who it is, whoever it is. Some kind of other legend coming in here, inserting himself into a story, particularly if he did what Steven did and what the report said he did, and he politicked his way into it.
Well,
to take it away from our guy.
Because unfortunately,
Cody's the quarterback right now of WWE, whether you like it or not.
I mean, they could use the PR of having the son of a plumber be their head guy instead of Roman Reigns, like super heel during this time of, all we can think about is Vince McMahon and fecal matter at the,
Yeah. And also just the audacity to think, and that's another element too, the audacity to just think like, well, we'll put The Rock in WrestleMania and all the Vince McMahon stuff's going away. The Vince McMahon stuff's not going away.
No, it's not. It's going to get so much worse, and I'll get into something on that later here. But because of all that, there's so many news stories they're popping off about behind the scenes. So you're getting a lot of details about The Rock's contract and what happened in order to get him on the board. And it sounds like this was going to happen one way or another just because one of the agreements they made for him to be on that board was to get him, A, into WrestleMania, B, to wrestle this year so he gets, $30-something million extra? I mean, there is no way in hell this man ain't going to get his extra $30 million.
Well, then they are delusional if they thought this was going to go any other way than the way it is absolutely shaken out. Because you remember the last time The Rock and Roman shared a ring, they got the hell booed out of them.
Oh, it was beautiful.
So you're going to do this gamble again?
I mean,
WrestleMania
years later,
you didn't learn your lesson the first time?
You saw it on Raw yesterday.
They took over the show.
And it was the first, what was Cole saying? It was the first time since 96 that you heard Rocky sucks.
So they're trying to go back to the Daniel Bryan stuff, but the Daniel Bryan stuff only worked because it was a real life story that was bleeding over. Like management was actively trying to hold this guy down. This doesn't work to me because it's conflicting. It's all over the place. Cody Rhodes is the star that beats everybody, that wins, and then for some reason just gives up his spot. But seemingly,
but still, there's a truth to it in the sense that when Cody was doing dashing, when he was doing Stardust, you felt like he was being held back and he had to escape in order to make himself something else.
Yeah.
So there's still a sense of that he is what he has become now is because of what he did on his own, not because WWE. And you can still feel a little bit of that Daniel Bryan in it. While they may praise him left and right because of who his dad is, he will never step out of his dad's shadow without some of this drama.
See, I just it boggles my mind because like if you 2014, if you were going to the house shows, Daniel Bryan wasn't the main event. Daniel Bryan was there, but it wasn't the main event. If you go to the house shows, it doesn't matter where you've gone in the past 2 years. Cody Rhodes, the dude on your T-shirt that you bought, he's going on last. He's the dude that's sending everybody home happy. He is the star of WWE right now. So to just make this change, unless listen, we could all be getting swerved. There could be a massive swerve that's coming. Even if there is, I still think the execution of the promo on Friday night was clunky. Even if we get to like, it is going to be Cody and Roman and Rock as a special guest referee or some kind of triple threat, whatever. The way they got into it Friday night to me was clunky, however they're going to do it. Now, if they got the balls to just think that like wrestling fans are going to take this line down again, round 2.
They will.
You're going to get 100,000 people who's going to boo the shit out of night 2 WrestleMania main event.
They may, but you know what?
It will happen. There's no may. That's going to happen.
Okay, but hold on. Are boos bad?
For WrestleMania main event, if nobody in there's getting cheered, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's bad.
Because it's the engagement. It's that heat that they're after. It doesn't matter if it's a cheer or boo. I mean, for years, Cena ate them boos of Cena sucks.
But there was also a segment, there was a large segment of the young fan base that loved John Cena that were coming to his T-shirts. You think anybody's going to buy a new Rock T-shirt at this point? They sure as hell ain't going to cheer for Roman Reigns. That's not going to happen. Not anytime soon.
Hold on. You say that. You saw how Birmingham reacted to him.
But you saw how Monday Night Raw, like we said, like what you said, the shock of happening in Birmingham, everybody's going to cheer.
But even before they knew that The Rock was going to be there, when he came out there and said, "Acknowledge me," that crowd they all had that hand up in the air, raising one finger.
I would do that. I mean, that's just a cool thing. You know, it's a cool thing to throw your hand up in the air.
When he came out there, they were cheering for him. They react to him. He is on that precipice now of everybody knows that the storyline is, they thought the storyline was almost over and they're ready to glad-knob him left and right. I think he needs to be a villain for the rest of his life. I know I'm never going to get that wish because they love selling his merchandise.
Yeah.
But the crowd loves him. The crowd buys his stuff. I think they'll buy The Rock stuff too.
I think that we are going to come on this podcast, if this is what the direction they go, night 2 at WrestleMania, Rock and Roman Reigns, we're going to come back on this podcast on Tuesday and be like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Now, I think the match is going to suck.
Well, that's I mean, of course the match is going to suck.
Why do you want that to be your main event then?
Because you have to. A, it's your undisputed world champion that's no longer undisputed, and B, it's your biggest star that you've ever made.
I mean, yeah, but you also want to put your best fucking performance at the end of the night.
Come on. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves. How many really great WrestleManias have there been?
I don't know.
Well, the ones that Roman Reigns have headlined, not many, but there's not a single wrestling fan that would be like, Rock versus Roman is a better wrestling match than Cody and Roman.
I mean, was Hogan versus Rock really a great match?
I don't think so. There's people that will tell you, but that was a dream match that we were waiting to see that did not take the place of another match that we were wanting to see. Like if Cody Rhodes has not had if this was last year, and Rock and Roman were doing this last year, I don't think anybody has a problem with it.
Yeah, sure.
But it's a testament to WWE for how much sympathy and how well they have built Cody Rhodes over these past 12 months, that when people finally get to, I want to see Cody finish the story, and they go, yeah, but here's this dream match. People go, no.
But you have
This is what I wanted to see.
But you have to do it. The man is not going to be able to do these things for much longer.
I mean,
and this is that moment of Roman Reigns has built himself up as the leader of his family, the head of a dynasty. And you have a superstar that had a legitimate claim to that I think people say you don't need the title involved. You need the title involved.
I would agree with that. You do need the title. People that are like, Cody's going to take the title from Roman at Elimination Chamber. No, he's not. Cody's not winning the title at 6 o'clock in the morning America time.
No. But
not gonna happen.
But you have to have, because you have built this storyline about family dynamic. This is where we're looking at it from the Cody Rhodes story. This is coming from the Roman Reigns story. And if you ask internally, who is the bigger star? Who is the person that's going to be getting more money in that company right now? It ain't Cody.
Oh, see, to me, I think Cody and Roman are at the same level.
If Cody and Roman were at the same level, Cody wouldn't be at every event, while Roman's, only there every month.
But that's part of the backlash that wrestling fans have
100%.
against Roman, and that's the same exact backlash that they have against The Rock. Is that we are the people that tune in every single week. We're the ones that watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. We're the ones that watch 2 hours of SmackDown. We're the ones that read and buy the merch and do all this stuff. And to just be told that basically the hardcore wrestling fan is like not good enough, and we're chasing some like, I don't even think they're casual fans of wrestling anymore, but some illusionary casual fan that The Rock and Roman are supposed to draw. Like, I just think that that's bullshit. That comes across as bullshit. And that's why the reaction now is we want
I get
Cody.
it. I mean, who was it? Bully Ray was saying you have, or it might have been Bully Ray or Mark Henry. One of them was talking about how there are roughly 6.5 Texas, Dallas Cowboys stadiums full of people that want to boo this Rock, the Rock, just for showing up.
Yeah.
And you can see that number. And hell, it might even be 7 stadiums at this stage. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the WrestleMania has always been a spectacle. It is not where you go to see the best matches ever. When you get the great matches, they stand out because of what they are surrounded by, which is that spectacle, pomp, and circumstance. And that's exactly what this match is. But
WrestleMania should feel like some kind of culmination of the story that we have been watching for the past 12 months.
We haven't gotten that in 3 years.
No, we got that kind of last year because the story was Cody's not finishing it yet. And like we thought that was bullshit last year. Turns out it was actually a good call on WWE's part because it made Cody a bigger star. And like here we are now, we're expecting to get up to this part.
He needed that hurdle.
This is not going to make Cody a bigger star.
I think it might.
I don't think.
Like I said,
I think you're gonna have people backlash against this.
If you get him the title and then put the second title on him and make him the undisputed champion, where you have an undisputed champion that actually is at the events, you add so much value to so many titles and you solve so many problems. But that requires them to actively do it. It's WWE. Anything that happens between now and tomorrow can change anything and everything.
This is the same type of booking and decisions that made me stop watching this damn company in the first place. They sucked me back in because I fell in love with Sami Zayn last year. That's when it started. And the more and more we get away from Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and the Bloodline, the more that I'm convinced that Roman Reigns was a supporting actor in this whole Bloodline story for the past year and a half. The only reason it was actually popping off is because Sami and Jey finally got an opportunity to be in front of the camera with a lot of screen time, and their natural ability and charisma finally got a chance to shine through because Roman has been mostly miss for most of this year post Sammy and Jay.
Oh, but see, that goes back to his schedule. I mean, the dude, as he said in his promo, he's a 10-time bigger star getting paid 10 times the amount of money for showing up 10 times less. And, I could argue, yes, that he is a supporting character, but he is such a structurally supportive character that it makes you want to see who is going to eventually be the guy.
Yeah, and Cody Rhodes was the guy. That's what I
agree.
It.
I agree, but again, there's that story beat of you're looking at Cody's story, not Roman's story. They're going to get that last beat.
Then do this why didn't you do this 2 years ago? Why didn't you do it a year ago? Why didn't you do it 3 years ago? Why is it now?
Because this is when the schedule aligned.
No, because The Rock has a fragile ass ego, and he failed at Fast and Furious. He failed at Black Adam, so now he's going to think he's going to insert himself in WWE, and it's backlash yet again.
This is when that schedule aligns, with all those moments that were taking him away from those other places where he was stumbling and failing are now gone. This is where he's here.
Well,
and he'll tear his abs, he'll tear his quad, he'll tear his something like he did last time he wrestled.
Yeah.
And I'm
What does
sorry.
that sound like?
I mean,
Phil Brooks.
But again, it goes back to what I say. If you're not doing it on a regular basis, it's going to happen.
Well, Mr. Dwayne Johnson, egomaniac, I hope you're satisfied with whatever happens. I hope that your ego can take being in front of 100,000 people in Lincoln Financial Field in a couple months and having every one of the people boo the shit out of you the same way they did Goldberg and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20, the same way they did you and Roman last time you were in a ring together. Like, dog, for as great as what you were, it has passed you by. And it's okay. Just let it go. There are new stars here. There are new stars that have held this down that even allow you to come in and be a part of this company now. So just pass the torch. I don't know why it is with these fucking guys that just can't pass the torch.
I think this is him thinking he is officially passing the torch to Roman. And then because he has passed the torch to Roman, when Cody finally beats him, Cody gets the torch.
Then Dwayne, you're a dipshit. You're an idiot. And the whole thing is now fumbled up. I don't know. It's just, oh God.
Question I have for you though is, do you think in that contract for WrestleMania, they've outlined how many punches he gets versus how many Roman gets?
I hope that they just. What if they just do a finger poke of doom and just fucking end this thing? Or they just call an audible?
I would not hate that.
They just go, hey, we screwed up. My bad. I would give Cody Rhodes is in the main event now.
But then again, I love seeing people pissed off. So I'm not, if he came out there and just finger poked him and he fell and it was over, I would laugh my ass and then have them cut the biggest beat down promo of Cody Rhodes being stupid. I would laugh my ass off for weeks on end.
Because and wrapping up here, because I know there's other stuff we want to talk about.
They have 32 minutes.
They've basically managed in the span of 72 hours, you have cut the legs out from underneath your biggest babyface star in the company. You have gotten fans pissed off about your biggest event in the company. You have turned one of the most beloved superstars of all time into one of the most hated figures now of modern day wrestling in The Rock. You also, the Seth Rollins title, you basically have just managed to bury it as a consolation prize, which, by the way, we all kind of knew it was, but you didn't have to flat out come out and say it. You'd done that too. So now whatever Cody Rhodes gets, it's not really going to matter what he does at WrestleMania.
While we're still on this, can we talk about how Drew McIntyre continues to just spit the most beautiful truths ever, like he did on Monday night?
Yeah.
Where he came out there and said, nobody wants to fight Roman because they know how the fight ends. You're going to get interfered with his family and he's going to win. And of all the stuff that he has said, I have never seen a man say the most obvious, blatant truth that is so just...
But even that doesn't make sense in storyline, because Drew comes out there and is looking at Cody and be like, you have to finish your story, as if pleading to Cody. But the story is that the real life Dwayne Johnson has come in and interjected himself. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't work on multiple levels. It's like narratives that are all clashing with each other. It doesn't make any sense.
I definitely feel like there was some sort of
Because even Seth's like, hey, man, I've been in your position. I feel you. It's like, well, what position? Because in storyline, Cody just gave it away. So what position are you talking about?
Did you ever give away your fucking title shot?
Yeah. You ever just be like, nah, here you go. You can have it. Like, it doesn't, oh, God. Whatever.
No, I definitely get that there feels like there was an editorial misstep where somebody looked at a script and then just was not paying it. I feel like that script came out the same day the lawsuit dropped.
Yeah, this feels like Tony Khan has magically inserted himself over into WWE, and this is kind of the nonsense that they're doing. Yeah. Although to AEW's credit, they would never do something as crazy as like, hey, what's the biggest babyface star? Why don't we just fucking have somebody else wrestle? Like, they wouldn't do that now. They've done a lot of dumb shit in the past.
You say that.
I know I sent this to him that morning, and I think I sent it to you once I finally got a signal. The meme of Tony Khan is going to make a very huge announcement on Wednesday or whatever. And it was like, somebody just changed it to say Tony Khan is going to laugh his ass off at Cody Rhodes for 30 minutes.
But see that. Thank you for reminding me of this. When I said what I said at the beginning of this thing, Cody does it. What did he do when he got to AEW?
What did Cody do when he got to AEW?
What did he do? What killed Cody Rhodes in AEW?
He's saying that he wasn't going to challenge for a title.
Exactly. This is what he does. You say that this is unbelievable, but he does it.
Well, I think that's a difference in it because he was like some kind of executive, and I think he would. Oh, I know. I think
100%. I think he made the right decision. He was trying to lead by example, and the other two idiots over there.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid doing what Dwayne Johnson is doing literally right now.
But he did it.
Right. Anyway, all this goes back. There's one person to blame here, honestly. Tony Khan. If you would have just, I don't know what the fuck happened, but if you would just not had it happen, we would have avoided all of this.
Here's what I want to know what it was, because Tony Khan, by all accounts, is like super nice dude, really takes care of his employees, et cetera, right? And so people just think maybe he's a little stupid, right? So here,
he kicked his dog. He had to kick his dog.
What happened between he and Cody that hadn't happened between even fucking I guess he and CM Punk had a thing, but like what did Cody have to do?
I realistically, I think QT Marshall said the exact thing that bothered Cody. It's the direction that Tony wants to go is not the direction that Cody wanted to go, in the sense that Cody spent some time in Japan and did prove that he could hang with the things, but that's not where he excels at. He excels at this storyline stuff, and that's not. And I'm not saying that AEW doesn't have storylines, but they don't have, for my money, the storylines that grab me and engage me and keep me just on the edge of my seat to see where the next thing is.
I think it was something deeply personal. I think we're never going to know what it was, but I feel like if it was just creative direction, they would have just said that. But multiple times they have, like Cody has mentioned, like something happened and I will never tell you what happened. Well, and like we know it's not anything with the Young Bucks or with Omega, because the past two Royal Rumbles, Cody has done the too sweet, the gun pointed to the sign. So like if that's not a call to the Young Bucks and the cleaner Kenny Omega, I don't know what is. So I don't know if it was a creative direction. It was something deeply personal, but this is the man to blame, Tony Khan. Because if he would have just squashed this, we would have gotten Hangman versus Cody. Cody probably would have turned heel. And then you'd have had this amazing Cody run heel turn, which would have circled right back around. He would have been a huge baby face. We would have avoided all this shit. And instead, I got to fucking watch The Rock do the greatest hits like it's fucking 1997 and I'm a middle schooler and he's making punani jokes or whatever the fuck in 2024 and it's going to drive me crazy.
Oh man, I'm loving how quickly this shoe has turned in the sense that when you asked me last week how long I would sit there and watch a Rock promo with Roman Reigns, whether I'd rather it be 2 months or a year, and you laughed at me when I said 2 months, and now here you are going,
I'm a dumbass, Steven. What do you want me to say? Okay. I just say shit and then they do something and then I change my mind about it. Okay. I'm a fan. This is awful. Yeah. I hate it. Yeah. I'm going to hate this WrestleMania build up. Oh. I just hope fucking Sami Zayn has something cool to do. And I hope Cody Rhodes, listen, if it's Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in the main event, night one of WrestleMania, If I'm Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, I'm looking at each other and be like, we're about to tear the fucking house down.
Oh, see, yep.
And then when I walk back up the ramp, I'm pulling a Kenny Omega and I'm looking right in the camera and I'm going to say, follow that bitch. And I'm walking out.
100%. And if they don't...
And I'm throwing the World Heavyweight title right in Triple H's face like Brock Lesnar did when he came back through the tunnel.
I've seen a lot of the petty, video or gifs of Cody taking the sledgehammer to Triple H's throne. And there, some people were like, Triple H, don't forget.
Oh, yeah, but I'm fine with it. I want them to go out there and outshine that in 100%. I want them to steal the show and more, because it'll make it easier for that dream to come true. If you, the fact that The Rock is not only stealing his main event, but stealing his catchphrases. Because if you looked at the Twitter, what was he saying? This is undeniable. There's only one. I mean, that is literally the man's.
Yeah.
If he can make it truly undeniable by showing out and proving that beyond a shadow of doubt that he is that next level bullshit. How do you not?
And then if that happens, boy, if Cody and Seth wrestle a classic on Saturday night, them boos gonna come hard and heavy come Sunday, because as soon Roman and The Rock gonna start doing their bullshit, and people are just gonna be like, boo, and it is going to echo, and you are going to have the biggest event.
I don't know, man. There's gonna be a bunch of marks there.
No, I think.
Oh, and see, that's what I always love about WrestleMania is because you get people from all over the place. They hijack that show so much, and it's not they don't. I mean, if you listen to any time they're on commentary, they're talking about how WrestleMania is always that crazy week where you get because the people that go to that is the Super Bowl, of wrestling. Yeah. So you're going to get
the casual fans are not going to WrestleMania because they're not paying $5,000 a ticket. True. Casual fans will come when it's a house show and it's $25. But if I have to pay and fly, I have to be dedicated. Yeah. And if I'm dedicated, there's no way I want to see Rock and Roll.
That internet, the internet love. So they are gonna shit all over that match, and it is gonna be glorious to see how they have to handle it. But I really think at this stage, you get. If anybody, I would be pissed as Seth Rollins at this stage, because you're going to be opening the show, in my thought, because they're going to do a Roman Rock, Roman Cody. And I think you have to do Rock first and Cody second night. So you still think we're going to get Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? That's potential. I think that is my backup plan to my original hope that you'd stay with Seth and Cody, and you let him ride out and you unite those titles. That's my dream. That is my A choice. My B choice is that we get the double Roman. And he can, have his back padding thing of the only reason Cody got me was because I had to double main event WrestleMania. Yeah, which is what we said should have happened last year, not 12 months after the fact. Well, you had a different creative team last year. Well,
all right, we're 42 minutes in. I'm officially switching topics. All right, we've tried a couple times. I knew that this was going to be the most interesting topic, so I was like, I'm just going to let this one go. Oh, yeah. But I think we should probably switch gears.
I'm sorry that this is affecting. Like I said, I've dealt with this for over 6 months, so I know where you're at. I do. It just hurt. It does.
Let's switch gears to Damage Control. Finally turning on Baylee.
She picked up Japanese. What else can you say? Yeah, kudos to her for fucking learning the Japanese. I don't even know if I can keep talking about anything. I'm so over. We might have to switch companies altogether. I don't know if I can talk about it. Yes, I love Baylee. I hope she went to WrestleMania. What else happened? Rhea Ripley's going to body slam Nia Jax and Perth. Elimination Chamber. Yep. Whatever. It'll be 7:00 in the morning when that goes on. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure we're going to get Becky versus Rhea at WrestleMania. But yeah. I did one of the things I've noticed is just the quality of acting that you get from different people. But with Baylee, she's kind of subtle, but because there's that language barrier with Damage Control, you get more of a vaudevillian performance. And it's kind of funny just seeing those dynamics between the two where, Bailey's talking her monologue, and behind them, they're just doing the over-the-top, exaggerated laughing kind of stuff, and just how that... And then she knows Japanese, and the eyes that are so like just saucers. It's just the overacting, and I love it.
It was a good segment, I guess.
Those are the only two that I flagged as like the things I thought we would really discuss from SmackDown.
The Logan Paul stuff was entertaining. I enjoyed him talking the garbage that he talked. He propped up Kevin some, but still, talked his shit.
Yeah. I can't even remember because literally I blacked out the last 10 minutes of SmackDown.
It is hilarious if you look at
everything.
Because I like seeing how other people react into this stuff. So I looked at the cage match ratings on that SmackDown. It's like at a 2. And it's not because of it. I mean, if you look at the ratings of the matches themselves, they're all great.
Yeah.
But the overall rating of that show is a 2 because of as you described it, that gut punch.
Just whatever.
So we have for Raw, we've got listed that Drew keeps spitting truths. You talked about that a lot.
I do love Drew McIntyre. I love the new shirt.
That new shirt.
Love the new shirt.
It was funny. And one thing that I forgot to put on here, but I needed to mention real quick was I finally saw, besides the 2-minute, about where he was born and raised thing about R-Truth, I saw one of the segments with, because this is the first Raw I've watched in forever. Probably, well, I say forever, a couple months at this point. Anyway, a lot of fun with R-Truth backstage with the Judgment Day, and finally Damien was like, you know what, you can just hang out here, whatever. And he finds that box of T-shirts.
I love it. I understand now. That was a pre-initiation initiation.
Yeah.
Just gold. This is the thing I put in the notes for last week. Like after his performance at the Rumble, coming down in the women's spot, etc. Do you think there's any chance like Truth gets the Sami Zayn push?
I honestly, I think they'll be the ones to take away the titles, the tag titles. It'd be an awesome Truth thing.
Yeah,
awesome Truth.
Him and the Miz.
Yeah,
and both character arcs of him and the Miz are kind of like the Miz has also turned babyface. People have now appreciated all the years he's put in. It's the same with R-Truth. There's like a fan appreciation, like feel good. You guys are vets. Here's your big WrestleMania moment type of thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, Damian Priest still has the Money in the Bank briefcase, by the way.
I'm glad they clarified that for me. I thought they had until WrestleMania, but evidently he's got until July to cash that out.
Yeah, 12 months, so he's got till next Money in the Bank.
I thought it was you had to have it done by WrestleMania, but I guess you have to have it done by the next Money in the Bank.
Yeah, boy, he feels out of place with everything. The fucking CM Punk gets hurt. Rock comes back. They really don't have any plans for Damian Priest because if there was any kind of break glass in case of emergency use, it would be for this guy after the CM Punk injury and all this stuff. But man, they just seem to have no plans in place. So
it's just gonna fizzle out.
And now the Rock's back, so wherever you were at on the totem pole, you're down another notch. So. Right.
Did you guys see Dynamite? I didn't see that one.
I did
on a boat.
Yeah,
it just made me.
Nothing worth watching.
Here's where I'm gonna get the rant that I've been kind of saving. I'm a passionate wrestling fan. Having now read that lawsuit, that killed a lot of my love because it doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's to that point where I recently saw a band. I bought the T-shirt. They were one of my favorite bands, and about a month after I bought that T-shirt, the lead singer got called out for being a piece of shit rapist. So I've been burned. I'm not going to get burned again, kind of thing. So it has been a rough. While I'm passionate about what we're talking, it has been a rough week and a half, 2 weeks to having to watch what could be the ultimate cancerous company with just the way they treat people. Leading up to their big event. And then having to also watch AEW when I don't have that same passion for that company. So when I say that Dynamite was nothing to write home about, it might have been better than I'm giving it credit for. But to me, it was just they made wrong choices left and right because you got Mogul Embassy guy whose name I can't even remember. Toa
Leona.
Toa Leona. And the other option was Rob Van Dam, where you learn that not only could you pick the opponent, evidently you could pick the stipulations. So there's just so much stupid shit going on that show that I just don't care about. And you get one or two people that are constantly there, and then every other person that they're fighting is somebody that's just thrown on temporarily that is never going to get beyond 1 to 2 episodes. I just don't care. I just don't care about that show, and it saved my life.
The thing about AEW is, if they were just a B, like if you were just grading it and you're like, man, this show is a B, this company is a B, I think they'd pull a lot of fans over. So I think there are a lot of fans that would be pissed off from either the lawsuit like Steven's talking about or the Rock stuff. The problem is this show's not good right now. And as much as Swerve and Samoa Joe and Hangman are trying to save it, they are not being helped by these storylines.
We've danced around it the last few weeks, but y'all mentioned last week, y'all like, this show is in a slump.
It's not good. And like he brought up, so like, okay, we had this dealer's choice thing, right? Swerve is supposed to be this ultimate businessman, badass. Nobody gets the upper hand on him. And I guess he just doesn't read the contract.
Yep.
What? Like, okay, what is Prince Nana doing? Like, so you can just like, and again, like, why is RVD on the show? Like the CMLL guys, I'm okay with because I think you could do. There's rumors that they're coming up and they're going to do another Forbidden Door with a Mexico guy. So like the Blackpool Combat Club is not doing anything else. So I'm okay with the Luchador people if they're going to be focused, if they're going to shift pay-per-views and be that after after Revolution,
National Collision.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that because it's not around a world title. It's not around whatever. But like, to just make Swerve out like he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And then he has to wrestle RVD.
You reestablish these rankings. You're making a big deal of the rankings. Ranking comes out. Swerve is number 1. Okay, that's great. That means he's fighting for the title, right? Nope. Wednesday, he's got to fight for the right to fight for the title. Then what the hell is the point of the rankings?
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't wrong.
And then we have RVD and Swerve. Okay. Brian Cage comes out. Who fucking comes down the ramp to save RVD?
Oh, it got worse on Collision
Motherfucking Hook.
Got worse on Collision.
Why? I do not. If it wasn't for the Rock stuff, I would have really come in here hot about Hook stuff, but the Rock took most of my ire.
You're welcome, Tony.
But like, what is this kid? He is probably a great kid. Like I said, in 5 to 6 years, he is probably going to be he might even be a fucking fantastic professional wrestler in 5 years.
And I swear to
he is not one right now. Stop. Just stop.
I can't take Tony Schiavone telling me how great he is because he pops his fucking hips. I don't know. Shut up. Just shut up.
And listen, I'm not downplaying Division I athletics whatsoever. Okay? It's tough to be a D1 athlete. But Hook was not a Division I linebacker in the SEC, okay? He was a Division I lacrosse player in, like, the Northeast, okay? It's a completely different thing. He does not look, just storyline-wise, he may legitimately be able to kick some people's ass. I don't know. But he does not look like Brian Cage should be backing down from him.
Well,
he should be a Ring of Honor.
Yes.
He should, 100%.
Yes.
But I've said that Brian Cage is, I don't know who he pissed off. Because for the look that dude has, he has the worst win rate, whatever. Yeah, I mean, he is the jobber to everybody.
Because nobody gives a shit about what he does in the ring.
And that's
he
amazing.
Has zero personality.
He has the personality is a big aspect of it, but he's an athletic dude. He accomplishes a lot of amazing stuff in the ring, but are you telling me he has less personality than Hook?
Our Leon, the dude that Hangman faced by that, like,
and hold on, what happened to Roosh? Where's the Ignobles?
Well, like, it comes down to that. Like, yeah, why are RVD and this other dude fighting like your two biggest stars in Swerve and Hangman? We couldn't find anybody else. Like, I just don't understand the thinking and the reasoning behind this show. Like, I've said it for a while now. This show at times can feel so entirely schizophrenic. Like, it's literally written by a different person. And like, I kind of dig the Blackpool Combat Club luchador stuff because I think John Moxley is doing fucking the Lord's work with these promos. Like, the dude is the most real out of anybody in wrestling. It's like John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. But like, those two guys alone are not enough to make the show good. And like, especially when you have Swerve, Samoa Joe, and Hangman, all three extremely talented performers, and this is the work you're giving them. Like, sometimes you try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, but sometimes it's just chicken shit, no matter how much you fucking dice the onions and do all kinds of shit with it. You know what I'm saying?
And I will say, I was hopeful when Joe took the belt because I thought we were going to go a different direction. But the only match we've gotten is Hook.
Yeah.
And all that did was make Hook look amazing and Joe look like a jerk.
Yeah. You have Hook kick out of the Muscle Buster at 1.
Yeah. It has not. So at this stage, whoever wins this match on Wednesday, whoever wins tonight, give them the belt and just let them do whatever they're going to do. Because I guess they are the only solid thing on this show right now. They're feud because it feels like legitimate hate. The Undisputed Kingdom, if you could take that off my TV, I would not complain. It is the most. You can't have somebody feuding with somebody who's not there when the person that's feuding with the person that's not there can't even do anything.
Yeah, you can't have the main villain group that just took out the biggest star in the company be led by a dude that has to be pushed in a fucking wheelchair. What are we doing? What is happening? And just keep him off TV if that's the case.
And with Hook, I would hate less. I would hate Hook less if it wasn't for the FTW title, because that title was created by Taz because Shane Douglas couldn't or wouldn't defend it on ECW. So Taz came out there and said, "You know what? I'm your champion because this jackass ain't doing something. If you don't like it, fight me." Hook faced the champion and lost. So that title is counterproductive to everything it was built upon and only serves as it is the most prop that I've ever propped. The fact that, has Roman Reigns defended his title a lot?
No.
That title's been defended even less, but we see it more.
Yeah, the fact that we even have to come in here and talk about Hook for as long as we have is a travesty in and of itself.
Yeah, I'm going to move on. I got some notes for Collision. Did either of y'all get to see Collision?
Yeah.
Collision.
Eddie Kingston was great.
Yeah.
Why ain't he on fucking TV more? Why ain't he on the other Wednesday night too?
I saw some tweets that are before I got to watch the show, and people were like, you know what? For all the terrible shit that's been in the news about wrestling this week, they're like, this is a really solid show so far. And I thought it was pretty solid.
It's okay.
No, I will.
Wrestling was great.
I'll defend Collision. I did enjoy Collision because coming out Friday night, I was like, I just want to watch some wrestling. And it started off with Eddie Kingston and Brian Keith, which granted, why is Brian Keith in this position? I don't know, but he put on a hell of a performance.
Got his contract.
He got great.
And that's what that pissed me off. I mean, I'm glad he got a contract. Bless him. He's a great wrestler. I enjoy his work when he's doing something. He doesn't mean anything to this show because he's a jobber. But the fact that Tony Schiavone came out there and was like, hey, we've got some great news. You're all elite. You've been signed to a contract. Okay. He popped like he didn't know. How did he not know? You signed the contract.
I mean, it didn't mean it was already signed.
Then you can't announce that he's all elite. If he hasn't agreed, he isn't all elite. If he's agreed to be all elite, he can't just suddenly find out he's got a contract. That's stupid.
I'm not going in on Collision because, like I said, he came off the heels of Friday night. I was as irritated as I could have been.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the? Go ahead.
I watched all of Collision. I thought top down it was great.
But there's nothing to. I will 100% agree with everything you're about to say. That the wrestling was amazing. It's a great wrestling show.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of them. You got everybody you got one half of every wrestling match where somebody is important and the other one is just somebody that you've thrown into the match.
I agree with you. Storyline wise, it's not great. And probably in a vacuum or probably like as an ongoing thing, it was not great. But like I said, coming off seeing a dude who has not been in the ring in forever insert himself into the biggest event that a company has, to just then turn on the TV 24 hours later and to see Eddie Kingston just chop the shit out of people, and to see Jon Moxley cut a promo backstage where it's like, damn, Jon Moxley, is he top 5 all-time mic skills? I don't know. He's up there. And to see Daniel Garcia and FTR did the little hip dance, and it's kind of stupid because Cash and Dax are two fucking just white dudes from the country that can't move their hips. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to analyze
That's
this
just
the
way
way
too
I
damn
usually
long.
would. I'm just going to sit back for 2 hours with a fucking whiskey, and I'm just going to watch wrestling.
Does it make, I got it. I'm sorry. We've 42 minutes. We'll make it 45. Does it make it easier to swallow looking at it from the perspective that The Rock is the authority? He is a board member now, which means he can exercise his authority on there to get his way. So it kind of makes his ass a villain. He is now playing for that. I hate to, put his name in that, but he's now playing the Vince McMahon role where he is able to control the story. Does that make it more tolerable to you?
If he is willing to become the ultimate heel, then yes. But Dwayne Johnson, and everything we know, you mentioned Fast and Furious, you mentioned Black Adam, he seems incapable of being that character. Even in the storyline wise, he seems to be like he wants to be the biggest star in the world, and the biggest stars in the world don't get booed. So,
anyway, Bryan and Hechicero, I know you're excited about that
Well,
one.
yeah, I mean, that was just fun as shit to watch. My only note that said Bryan Danielson is having the time of his life.
I loved his intro, Hechicero's intro, where he's, the alchemist playing with the fire. I thought that was cool. I thought he was a great technical wrestler. I don't know anything about him. He's just another luchador that they've thrown 17,000 luchadors into a ring and has no personality.
I mean, like I said, I
Sure,
agree with
but
that.
the match was fun
The
to
match was good. The match was good. Sometimes in retrospect, that's all. And that's kind of
Sometimes
what
the matches just need to be good.
that's kind of what Collision has been, though. Collision has been sort of like what WCW Saturday Night was, which is just like, here's where you can see Bobby Eaton wrestle whoever, and it really doesn't mean anything, but it's a cool kind of match. I get what you're saying, though, is like it needs more storyline. Like I said, was this a great Collision, like setting up for the future? Probably not.
The storyline of that match was 30 seconds after the match was over.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston did a backstage promo. Did y'all see that? Where he was like,
No.
and Danielson comes out and takes fucking spotlight off this kid. We just like, is he a kid? But Brian Keith is in his 30s at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Was that match? Because
at the end of
I'm thinking that's how much that it didn't matter in the sense that I thought that was at the end of Hechicero. But you're right. That was Brian Keith.
That was Brian Keith. Yeah, Danielson comes out and does the shit-eating grin. And then, we get Danielson, Hechicero. And like I said,
30 seconds. That's how much storyline you got on that show. Because you had the trios title where, hey, FTR and Daniel Garcia are number 4. The Patriarchy aren't even ranked, but for some reason they decided to challenge the Patriarchy because it's not like the Patriarchy were going after the trios title.
Yeah,
they're tied up in a different storyline. They're not involved in that, but for some reason FTR decided to risk their number 4 against an unranked team.
That match was really fun. By the way.
I was say I did think that match was absolutely fantastic.
10 minutes could have been taken off that match.
I would rather I'd watch 2 hours of the 6 of those guys wrestle before I want to see 5 more seconds of fucking Dwayne Johnson up on the damn in a WWE ring. And let me just say this about the end of Collision. We got a little taste of it. Daniel Garcia and Nick Wayne. I'm down for that. I legitimately think Nick Wayne is going to be a huge star for AEW. I don't know if the charisma and the personality comes along and he grows into his body.
Yeah,
there is you look at some people like this person was just born to do this. Like LeBron James was born to play basketball. Nick Wayne was born to be a professional wrestler. He is at 18, 19 years old. Absolutely.
he's still probably 18.
Absolutely almost flawless in like kind of everything he does. It's sort of like absurd how good he is at that young of an age. And like I said, if he was 220 pounds, like
you can see in a lot
problem.
of spaces too. I saw the other night where like he clearly knew where he was supposed to be for a certain
like the way and I guess that is like I've talked about before. That's the last thing to come. Like you can learn the moves, you can learn running the ropes, but to be able to put yourself in a correct position where 1, it doesn't look like you're coordinating with your opponent, and 2, your opponent doesn't have to wait for you. That's the exact opposite of the Samoa Joe Hook match. He just has it down. Yeah. And it's like I said, the Prodigy name fits him. That is what he is. And if he can get some mic skills, and if he can get on, some of that special kind of creatine that some of them other boys are on, you're going to have a star on your hands.
Just don't go Brian Cage.
Don't go Brian Cage. But there's a middle ground there.
Daniel Garcia. He took Black Mist to the face.
Yeah.
So is he a bad guy? Is he going to be a bad guy?
No, you can't be a bad guy with them kind of hips. If you have hip power, I think that it makes you invulnerable to the Black Mist. What if that was
Cody took Red Mist from
Oh, that's
Shinsuke.
different. Black Mist has been established in that universe to corrupt people.
It does sometimes corrupt people.
It didn't fully. Who does it not fully get though? Willow? Did Willow get the mist?
Willow did get the mist. So some of the fan lore behind AEW is like the mist just kind of reveals who you truly are. Now, I've seen some like squared circle stuff. I wish that they would kind of play into that a little bit more on the show. But yes, Willow got misted and nothing happened. But because you don't have it. What else is the story between House of Black and Danny Garcia? And like, what if Danny Garcia just got in the ring?
That's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone. But what if he was just like, the mist doesn't work because my fucking hips are too powerful? At least it would be something.
It'd be something.
Something. But like, who is House of Black feuding with? Who do they?
Briscoe.
Yeah, fucking whatever.
That's the last note on here.
I would hope
Briscoe.
I would hope that 3 guys could beat up one Mark Briscoe.
He's not taking on all 3 of them, is he?
Well, who's his tag team? What are you going to do? Add him to the Daniel Garcia and FTR? Because then all you're doing is recycling the thing that you have been recycling for over a month
You
now.
could get Jay Lethal. You know, I think they're talking about Jay Lethal changing up his storyline with the Jeff Jarrett and all them.
Again, I mean, I love Jay Lethal, but
I like House of Black too, but it's just like
no, I want them. I want them to be something. They ain't.
Yeah, I just don't. You don't want to speculate on where people's headspace is at. I just kind of think Malachi and Buddy Matthews are like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of this place. You can kind of feel it. Brody King, I don't feel that kind of way.
He'll stick around.
I think he's going to stick around. And probably, well, honestly, probably better for his career when he, is a singles wrestler. I think he has a lot of potential. But Malachi and Buddy just seem like 2 guys. We know that we've heard the reports they want to go back to WWE.
I don't know if that's true or not, though, because
I don't know if it's true or not, but it just feels like in their work, like that might be, might be.
All they do is they are set up to fail. They are they are not getting anywhere. It's kind of like the Undisputed Kingdom. You have these groups that need to be successful in order to be a challenge, and they're not.
I guess here's what I'm saying to wrap it up. Will Ospreay, wherever you're at, this is the Jedi Obi-Wan. Please save us. Will Ospreay, come into this company and just come save it. If it's at Revolution, just come in and just put on 5-star matches and say bruv a lot and fucking call somebody a cunt or whatever in your UK accent. Just come save the show. There's 4 hours of programming waiting on it, please.
But here's the thing. All he's doing is adding to a roster that he already has so many people that he doesn't even use because he's busy bringing in other companies' people. We were going to have this debate about Will Ospreay. I think this dude's on a different level. Who is he going to take the TV time of, though?
At this point,
figure it out.
Whoever. He can take it from any of the Rob Van Dam. He can take it from any of the other Hook. Please, God, take it from Hook.
If you're still trying to make Hook a thing, and you don't have Will Ospreay on TV every week, you done fucked up.
Yeah, I will say this. If they find a way to bungle Will Ospreay, I guess I'm just going to have to start watching world-class championship wrestling from the fucking 80s again or something. I guess I'm just going to be done with modern wrestling because it's going to piss me off 6 ways to Sunday, I guess. So, anyway.
This is maybe my favorite episode that we've ever done. And you haven't even had a drink.
I hadn't even had a drink, and like I shouldn't be upset about fucking fake fighting, but like goddamn, sometimes it's just like
no, I'm with you. Like I said,
I don't like it when people mess with stories that are such easy home runs. Sometimes it's just on the tee. All you have to do is make contact. You don't have to fucking spin around a fucking bat and do the shit and just make contact, make solid contact, and I'll be right there with you.
Tony Gwynn, baby.
It's Tony. Yeah, do a Tony Gwynn, and like that's for WWE and for AEW, and just for whatever reason they get there on the way.
AEW used to be like, even on their off weeks, still was a good show because the wrestling was good because they had a really solid roster. But lately now, some of the wrestling hasn't even been that good. And then but you'd be like, I don't care about this guy versus that guy or this lady versus that lady. But then they made you care because the matches were so good. But it just hasn't been, I don't know, maybe it's just like I've expected more story out of them after they've established themselves as a good wrestling company.
See, I love that we're talking about how AEW has great wrestling, but the story is not as blatant as other places. And then you are so angry that you are ready to quit watching all wrestling because of the story getting hijacked. That's what I need from AEW. I want it to be more blatant, evidently. I want those stories to be more in my face. I want the personalities and those moments to shine. And if that makes them more WWE, then that's what I need from them. I understand that people want an alternative. I just want something good, and this isn't it for me.
But and to AEW's defense, like I said, at least I can turn on the television and be like, I'm already pissed off at the other company. So at least I can get Eddie Kingston and Brian Keith. At least I can get 6 dudes working flawlessly in a ring for they went like 26 minutes, FTR and Patriarchy. Like, at least there's that to fall back on. What the hell am I going to fall back on in WWE if I don't fucking watch for the stories?
No, I get you.
I'm going to watch Tozawa. I love Tozawa. He going to get the shit beat out of him by Ivar? I don't want to see that. Ivar, who's it's 2024 and he has a gimmick like it's 1986 again, and he's a damn Viking. Nobody's a Viking in 2024. Fucking hell.
Did y'all talk last week about if Swerve slowly turned into a vampire?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. I couldn't remember if y'all did.
He didn't wear as much makeup this time.
He didn't. Maybe somebody got in his ear like, hey, bro, you look stupid. Stop. Just be cool. Why can't you just be cool and wear oversized jackets and coats?
Fuzzy masks.
And fuzzy mask and come out and do cool shit.
Prince Nana got his own shirts now. You're over as hell.
And yet you still got to fight, even though you're number one contender.
Whatever. I think this shit's going to be rough for me for the next couple of months. I'm going to be upset.
It's still real to me, damn it. Well, I think that's it, man. Follow us at thealabamatake.com on all social media platforms. That's our network of fellow podcasters for sports podcasts, Star Wars podcasts, book podcasts, TV podcasts. Did I say everything? I think I did. Just follow the Alabama Take on all social medias. You get different podcast announcements for the week there. And go to tpublic.com if you want a t-shirt. You can find the Alabama Slam t-shirts on there. We have several designs. And the proceeds from that go to help keep our website up and running throughout the year. So, buy a shirt, tell your friends about us and all that stuff. Patrick, you got any final thoughts on the week?
No, I mean, it's going to be, if you want to send a bottle of whiskey, and
DM us at Alabama Slam Pod.
Donation for the rough couple months I'm about to have, I guess it will be much appreciated. So, yeah.
Steven?
Apologies to Steven.
Apologies to Steven.
Right. That's how we should
like
end
I said, until we see how this plays out, there's still opportunities. So heads up, man. We keep treading water.
Fucking fuck Dwayne.
Next week.
So over this shit. I fucking hate this company so much.
I'm not going to gloat much.
We do owe you an apology. You've been saying this, and we denied, and you. Fuck, goddamn. Here it is.